Hi everyone, I'm Mona West from Joyful Heart Beaded Jewelry, and I wanted to share with you my beading cabinet. Beading grew on me gradually, and so did all the stuff that goes with it. So I started out with just a corner of my study, and it took over more and more of that as I went along. I had a large desk, I had a series of drawers, I had a closet. It was just all over the place, and it wasn't particularly well organized because it had grown kind of organically as beading grew for me. When we moved up to Portland, our space is much smaller now, and so I knew that I was going to need to be able to condense what I had into a smaller area. So I looked at different sorts of wardrobes, they're called, and finally chose one by Ikea. It's the Pack series. And what I really liked about it is that it's very customizable. I could make it into exactly what I wanted. And there were lots of different things that you could use, shelves, drawers, trays, just lots of different options that you could configure any way that you wanted to. And I knew this was probably my one hope for being able to get all of my beads in a small space, because this room that's probably like maybe 10 by 10 is both my office and my husband's office. So it just has just one part of one wall where I could have all my beading stuff. And it worked really well. It's very dense. I have a lot of stuff in a very small space, but it works. It's very organized, and it is designed around what my needs were. Let me step back and show you what it looks like from the outside, and then we'll move and look at it from the inside. From back here, you can see most of it. It is a small space, and as you can see, I have absolutely filled that space up. I used every inch of the room that I had, and one really nice thing is that it's right next to my desk. So when I'm designing, I can go back and forth between my computer and the beading cabinet. Now, you can find wardrobes like this in a lot of places. There are just all kinds of brands of them. I ended up going with the packs. Those come in a lot of different sizes, and it you can even get it in different depths, different heights, different widths. And I had a really odd shape and size. This is, you can see there's a soffit up there. So even the shortest one would not fit in this space. So my stepson had to cut some off of the bottom and the top, and I decided to make things a little harder for him by getting doors that had panels, so he couldn't just take the top part off. He had to take some off the bottom and the top and then redo all the hinges, but it ended up looking really nice. Here I've kind of opened all the doors up so you can see what's in it. Off on that right-hand side, those are all the trays that hold my beads. And then on the left side, that's my workspace, and also a lot more storage for everything from my materials to my books, to anything else you can think of. All my finished projects I'm working on, everything. And I was actually able to make everything fit in here. I still need to work a little bit on the beads. There's kind of a mess over there, but that's going to take some more organization. Here I have just the right-hand door open to show where I keep my beads. These are on narrow trays. I'll open one here to show you. So for instance, these are some of my delicas. I've got them all labeled so I can find them quickly. Here are fire polished, and then down here I have a lot of my seed beads by color. This is the part that is not completely organized yet, so excuse my mess, but I've just been trying to kind of get them in here, and then as I work with them, I'll get them better organized. So I do have all of my beads in here. It's pretty amazing. It's still pretty tight because I have a lot of beads, but they are all here. Here is the inside of my workspace, so let's move in and take a closer look. I have 3 drawers down below. I have the beading tray, a shelf here, and then up here I have several more shelves. I'll go through what each of these have, how I organize it. Up here I have my books on the top shelf. I have them on both sides. And then in the middle I have this, which holds all of my finished projects. I have the books facing inward like this because it actually gave me more space, plus allowed me enough room to put this in. On the shelf below, I have some fabric boxes, which I have more stuff in. You can hear a lot of that. I have a lot of stuff here. On the doors, I have pegboard that is also from Ikea. It holds a lot of stuff, and I'll go through that in more detail in a bit. Here I have my main work area. I have my beading boards that are hung up here. I have an old laptop that I use for watching videos while I bead because that's my idea of fun. And then here is my magnifying light, which is right over my beading tray. This is just a regular tray that they sell that I use for my beading area. And then when I put the light, turn the light on, and I can put it right above, and then I'm able to see really well what I'm doing. So in here I have some of the tools I use the most, the beads I'm using for my current project, my beading area, and then other trays and such that I can use for when things get hectic. Across the front I have a measuring tape in case I need to know how long things are. Down below I have 3 wire baskets, and these hold a lot. It's the full 39 inches across and 22 inches deep. So anything that you can think of I have in here, organized, at least somewhat organized. Down here in the bottom I have all of my projects, some more supplies, and over here I have all my findings. Since I had everything in different places, I really had no idea how much stuff I had, and it was a lot more than I thought. Let me show you these pegboards a little bit more. These are the Ikea pegboards. I chose to use them because they had accessories that I liked, but you could really use any pegboard that you like. So as you can see, I have a lot of my tools here. I have these little containers for holding various things. These are the only things that haven't worked out super well. When the doors open and close, these tend to move in and out. I think I can probably put a little sticky on there and keep them in place. And then they also have these little trays, which is great for holding more things you want to have around you. Over here, let's start at the bottom. Another tray, some cups for holding things, more of those little containers. A place where I can just hang up whatever. For instance, if I'm working on a project that I'm designing, I can put up the design here. And then this is the one thing that is not part of the IKEA pegboard system. These are actually holders for paper towels, and they are for regular pegboards, but they are just perfect for holding all of my thread. It's just easily accessible, easy to use, just perfect really. I just wrapped some elastic hair ties around it and shoved it up, and it seems to hold it very securely. And then, as I said, at the end of the day, I just turn this inward, turn off my lights, and I close the doors. Okay, so there you go. I hope this may give you some ideas, some inspiration of what you can do. And it's really amazing how much you can put into a small space if it's well organized and meets your needs, your specific needs. So take a look out there, and maybe this is something that will work for you too, or maybe at least give you an idea of something else that'll work for you. One of the reasons, I forgot to mention this earlier, that I went this way is I looked at kind of wall units that were made especially for craft type activities. And one thing I found is they are very expensive. I mean, thousands of dollars. And I think this cost me maybe all with everything, seven, maybe 800 at the most, and these were literally thousands, and they weren't well suited to beading because beading is kind of different than a lot of other crafts like sewing or scrapbooking, and the different components they had that you could put together just didn't seem to work well for this, plus the expense. So this was as close as I could get to getting something perfect because it was so customizable, and therefore I could make it so it would really fit the space I had and the needs I had. I'll see you again next time. I'm coming up with some new projects right now, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.